Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'll bet you there's nobody on because of this time change. There's 22 people.
No, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, you that are on. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the new studio.
It is phenomenal.
I know.
It really is.
If we could pan around the room, which maybe we'll a little bit later, it's super cool and super dialed in for everybody now. I mean, we've got sitting areas for interviews. We've got TV walls. We've got tech walls. Adam's actually happy. Well, as happy as he can be. I mean, it's like pretty cool.
For now.
So anyways, I thought we'd just do what we always do and jump right in.
Let's jump right in.
All right.
Eat that frog.
We didn't even get to talk this morning about like what we're talking about
No,
today.
I have no clue. I'm like y'all. I'm like you guys. Here we go.
Here we go. So I'm going to start out just by kind of catching us up with where we were at, and it was all about, what you want to do and eating the big problems first and, doing all that sort of stuff. But now as we're starting to get into Eat That Frog and overcoming procrastination, it's starting to take a little turn and it's getting a little bit harder to digest just because it's actually getting into the things where like we have to be smart. Yeah, to digest the frog. So that being the case, it's getting a little more into the semantics and like the problems and like the things that we should do that aren't just like big picture, like set a goal, write it down. It's more. There's more to it. So
I think that's going to be good for me.
Well, I like it because I think it'll just remind us a little bit more of the action steps of really like doing what you're supposed to do instead of just this idea. So I'll just jump right in.
Okay.
We're on chapter 10. And chapter 10 is take it one barrel at a time. All right, so take it one barrel at a time. And I wasn't sure what that meant, but it just starts out by basically saying that you can be have comparatively like moderate skills. You don't have to be a genius or anything, and you can accomplish a lot if you apply yourself, and you used a word, indefatigably.
Ugh.
Okay, if you apply, this is what I'm seeing. Like it's getting a little bit more like you got to be smart and pay attention. I had to Google that.
Okay,
right?
I was gonna say.
So indefatigably to one thing at a time. Okay, and basically what that means is instead of looking at the broad picture, taking this one little thing and like honing in on that. Okay, so that's what it means is like blocking everything out, knowing I want to accomplish that goal, and how am I going to do that? And the way I'm going to do that is not focusing on any of the other intrinsic factors. Now, I'm getting somewhere here. And here's the example. So there's an old saying that yard by yard, it's very hard, but inch by inch, it's a cinch. Okay, so instead of like looking like, oh my God, I got to get there, look how far that is away, it's more like, well, what if I don't look there? Like I was talking to Ryan the other day, and he told me that they go on these gnarly hikes for
so Ryan's his son, if y'all don't know.
Yeah, the one in the Marines, right? And he's an infantry Marine, and they go on these hikes where they're hiking for like 8 days straight and carrying their stuff. And he goes, Dad, I never look where we're going. He said, I literally keep my head down and go one step at a time. And he said, and by doing that, you just keep charging. So, but if you look there, it just becomes overwhelming for you. And that's kind of what this is. So yard by yard, it's very hard. Inch by inch, it's a cinch, right?
I love it.
So that being the case, though, we have to figure, though, if I need to get to that wall over there, what is the inches and what are the things that I need to do to get there, right? So, and we know this, right? If you're going to eat a huge frog, unfortunately, you got to do it one bite at a time. Right?
Sure.
You eat that frog.
You can't just get down the gullet.
Start with the leg.
Yeah.
You're going to move up.
Yeah.
That is a disgusting thought, isn't it?
Can we use garlic and butter?
And ranch.
We
do what we got to do.
Lots of ranch.
Lots of ranch.
And maybe some Frank's hot sauce.
Oh, see, it's going to be good.
Yeah,
we can
Frank's
eat that.
and ranch.
We can eat that frog.
All right.
1 inch at a time.
Yeah, so, just one bite at a time is kind of where it goes. And then it used an analogy. So Brian Tracy, the writer, he got a wild hair, and he decided to go to Algeria.
Okay.
And Algeria, right in the middle of Algeria, is the Sahara Desert, of course. And in this one area of the Sahara Desert, the entire thing is like a giant parking lot. There's not a leaf, there's not an animal, there's not a rock, there's nothing. It is just literally dead nothingness for thousands of miles.
Okay, so a desert parking lot.
It's not
a parking lot.
No,
it's
a desert parking lot.
Even just desert, sand.
The whole ground is flat and it's orange, he said. And he said that like just in the last year, thousands of people have died in that desert because at night they get lost, they take a wrong turn, they do those sorts of things. So, and if you remember, the French used to actually have control over Algeria. And so the French were always trying to, it's not anymore, the French were trying to figure out a way so that they could lay it out to get across that desert. Okay. So knowing that many, many people had died and, like I said, nothing alive. So what they did is knowing that they needed to get to the other side of the desert, they would put a oil barrel every 5 kilometers. Okay, so there'd be an oil barrel, and because, I don't know if you know, but like with the curvature of the earth, when when land is flat, that's how far you can see. So they could see that kilometer, or that, during the day, of course, they could see that oil barrel 5 miles, and then they would drive to the next one, and then they would spot the next one, and then they would drive to the next one, and then they would drive to the next one. So he used that analogy in, trying to get things done is, you have to, like, so if I'm trying to get to my goal over there, it's best to create markers. And that's what he meant by indefatigably.
That's a tough word.
Yes, indefatigably. And watch, somebody's going to correct me, probably saying it wrong. But one step at a time, inch by inch. So that way you can kind of move forward. So really, it's like if you want to try to figure out the things that you want to get done, and the gym might be one of them, or something like that. I was thinking about it. They say a great life and a great career is built by performing one task at a time, quickly and well, and then moving on to the next one quickly. And so you got to give yourself these little things that you got to do. And I'm using that with the book I'm doing right now. And a few other things, which I'm actually going to talk a little bit about today because it's coming along really, really good. So that's where it's at. And go ahead, please.
I just want to tell you thank you because did y'all notice how he said, you may remember? No.
Remember what?
Of course I don't remember that the French used to be in charge of Algeria. Jeremy does the same thing. I'm sure you remember.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you.
Sarah Price just said she loves the backgrounds.
Yay, thanks, Sarah.
Chuck Todd Conklin also says he loves the new digs.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
All right. You know what? Todd's going to steal this idea for sure. I can tell you right now, Todd.
As long as he gives us a little kudos. Right?
Yeah, just like, hey, you know what? I learned something from Chuck. It's not just the Todd Show.
Yeah.
All right? So,
sorry to interrupt, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for thinking we all had that knowledge.
Well, hey, I figured you'd seen Lawrence of Arabia or something. I don't know. but anyways, so that one step at a time that we were talking about. So a perfect example is financial independence.
Okay.
Okay. So people that are financially independent, I'll use Sonia, for example. Sonia works because she wants to work. She doesn't work because she has to work. But, when Sonia first came into my life and she was talking about like the way her and Dick lived their life, it was very methodically. It was saving year after year, investing some in stocks, like lived a very methodical one step at a time life to get where they are now, which I think a lot of people do, and it almost seems like that's more our parents' generation, where they would like save here and save there and kind of work their way and come home from the factory and do all that sort of stuff. But that is an example of that one step at a time.
Yeah.
So, the next thing would be health and fitness. I mean, wouldn't it be great if you and I could just, jump on the treadmill and be fine tomorrow?
Yeah.
And, hey, look how great I look. But it's eating a little bit less every day and exercising a little more every day. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of one-step process that they were suggesting. So I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot because I need steps. I need baby steps.
Well, and you're doing them, right?
Baby steps.
You're a little cranky again today. I could feel it the minute you walked in. Did you work out today?
No. Can I share something?
Please.
I finished my 9-week program yesterday.
Congratulations.
And I was so proud of myself. I even cried. I was so legitimately proud of myself because it was so hard.
Would you mind sharing the 9-week program with everybody? What is it?
It's Control Freak. It's with Beachbody. Which I am still a jazzercise instructor. I still love jazzercise and hugely promote that. I just needed to do something from home right now with the way life was. Anyway, and I lost 9 inches and I did not follow a nutrition plan, and that's why I only lost 9 inches, but 9 inches in 9 weeks, I'll take it.
Okay, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's 9 inches. You know what I mean? So good for you. Good for you. And
thanks.
so
it was baby steps. It was these little things.
Did you set markers for yourself?
Yeah. Well, yes. I was just gonna. Yes. Each week.
Everybody's saying congratulations. You have about 6, 7 people that are saying it.
Thanks,
Super
guys.
Inspiring. Awesome. All kinds of cool.
It was so hard. I may cry. It was so hard.
Really? But you did it.
But I did it.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Thanks for listening, guys. Sorry.
That's super awesome.
Those
Hey, you know what?
steps.
Everybody out there needs to be doing the same thing. I mean, we all know it, and you go through these phases in your life, where you're like, I'm super motivated. Oh shit, I forgot all about it. And then back and forth and back and forth. It's just, and that's kind of like what this whole money motivation is about. Like, we got to get into that zone where we're trying to do it all the time. And people do it.
Exactly.
People do it.
Yeah.
They do. I think we can. And you know what? I wonder if this show has something to do with it.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Because
You know
I
what
have
I
to
mean?
come on here, and I knew you were going to ask. I'd be like, no.
Well,
no, I gave up.
So I do want to add one thing, and this
Okay.
is truth, and Jen will back me up, and Adam might, and Michael.
Oh, God.
You've been really cranky over the last 9 weeks. I mean, really cranky.
I know.
But you know what? It was worth it. 9 inches, right?
So can you handle this 52 more weeks?
Well, what about when it becomes, just normal, and it's no longer like a struggle? Because right now it's a struggle, right? So, and I love that you're happy because you have moments of being up and down, but you do come in cranky in the morning, and then throughout the day you get better. Except when you're like looking at your lunch and you get all cranky again.
I know. I'm just, yeah.
Jenny cranky is not the same kind of cranky, though.
That's true.
She's always so positive.
That's
Adam calls everybody cranky, though.
Oh, Michael's been cranky.
All right. So, but anyways, good job.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And it's just nice because that was you followed a plan,
I did.
and that's whether it's trying to make money, whether it's health and fitness, whatever it may be, it's having a plan and an idea of where you want to go and benchmarks. That's what this chapter is all about.
Benchmarks. Amen.
Benchmarks.
I'm writing that
And I mean, we talked about this before too. Like I am 2 months from being in the best shape I've been in 15, 20 years. So I'm with you too. But it has been hard. But it's fortunately, temporarily anyway, it's a habit right now.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
even question it.
Yeah.
I don't let anything get in my way. Somebody wants to do something in the afternoon or in the evening, and I have my gym time. I say no.
That's so good.
I mean, and it's hard
It
because
is.
who wants to go have a cocktail and some friggin' chicken wings? This guy.
yeah.
But I'm not going to. So you've motivated me too. So.
Thanks.
All right. So let's keep charging. Now we're going to move on to the next chapter. The next chapter is upgrading your key skills. And this is a good one, and I think it's
Okay.
important. The only certain means of success is, and we know this, right, is to give better service than anyone expected.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so our top agents in the company, whether it's, any industry at all, teachers winning the Teacher of the Year award, whatever, it's because they did more than they were expected to do. They gave more to the students or to anyone that was ever expected of them. So no matter what your task may be, it's giving better service. And to give better service, and I believe this, and especially you real estate people out there, upgrading your skills is one of the most important personal productivity principles. Like being able to be cutting edge, being able to share things like Moxie and all the different tools that we have, and being really good at them, and having a dialed in system of calling all of my sellers on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to give them updates, and all those different things really differentiate you from the other agents. And so when you don't, are not upgrading your skills, and when you're not trying to get better, there's kind of like an inadequacy or a lack of confidence in certain areas of your business. And that's one of the big things is, one of the things I was thinking is really important is, I think a lot of our agents, and I think anybody from any industry, whether you're in insurance, whether you're in title, whether you're in real estate, you get discouraged because you feel like you're not really good at certain things. And I'm gonna go to prospecting. And most people do not prospect the way they should, and prospect is almost like a bad word, right? I mean, it's like, oh my God, I got to call people, I got to door knock, which we don't do anymore, or cold call. I mean, so prospecting is a place that I feel people are weak. And if people studied prospecting and how to do it and how to dominate it and how to be the best at it and how to continually make yourself a better prospector and better at reaching out with people, you're going to have more success in the long run.
Right.
And that goes for you too, and
Right.
for me
No,
in
totally.
recruiting and all that sort of stuff. So we need to be looking at upgrading our skills in the key result areas. So not just like, I want to be really good at reading and I'm going to become a speed reader. John Hill just said prospecting is my weakness. And
I find that so shocking, John.
you know what though?
I love that he said that.
He's being honest.
Yeah.
How many times do I need to sit down and call the top 200 agents and I don't do it? You know what I mean? Even though I could do it. So, and Coach Pat Riley, remember him from the Lakers back
Yeah,
in
for sure.
Magic days and Kareem and all that
Yes.
stuff? He said that anytime you stop striving to get better in your key areas of success, you're going to get worse.
Oh.
So, if you are not trying to get better, trying to become a better basketball player, Elizabeth just said, I feel like, I'll be forever learning how. And it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I still go to Tom Ferry's and Mike Ferry's and Brian Buffini's and all that stuff because I pick up something every time. And I want to be better at my craft too. So, but, Riley said, the minute you stop trying to get better at everything, you're going to get worse. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's really good.
Go ahead.
And I was just thinking, because you said, honing in on our skills, because most of most people in our industry, whether it be title, home warranty, whatever, we all have a personality. We all know how to be nice when we need to be. We have to set ourselves apart, not just be nice and not be caring and kind. We have to have that skill set that sets us apart from.
For sure.
So be kind, but also know how Moxie can help you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever it is your skill set is.
Exactly. And I was talking to Ryan last night, my son who's in the Marines. He was home. He's out on a boat for a month on an aircraft carrier, some kind of bomb.
Fun.
But anyways, I was talking to him last night, and I was rolling through the book. We were talking about all the different, because I have all these different ideas and things that we're discussing a lot, along these lines. And he was asking me what book should I read, because he listens to maybe 2 to 3 audibles a week, like no joke. And I was just telling him that, learners are earners. And we've said that before, but we really have a responsibility to continue to get smarter and better in life, and the more we do that, the more success we'll have. So, you're a recruiter, and you're a great recruiter. How many people we signed on? 11 or 12 last month, right? But what if you actually were listening to podcasts and reading books and reading scripts and listening to the top people about recruiting? I'm just throwing that out there. Now you're like, oh, look at you're blinking your eyes because that sounds miserable.
That sounds like pure hell.
We don't like to read, Chuck, okay?
All right.
You did say podcast, but you have to. I'm like a child.
But the same thing, like what if, and this is, and I'm going to get to this.
Good attitude.
Getting ahead of myself, but for the agents, for example, if you listen to, the best 1 hour of Mike Ferry's prospecting that he's ever done in his career on an audiobook over and over and over, is that going to make you better?
Yes.
If you listen to Tom Ferry on prospecting, is that going to make you better?
Yes.
If you listen to Brian Tracy, if you listen to Brian Buffini, if you listen to all these people on, just that little tool, that key result area, what could it do for your life? And I'm gonna get to that a little bit further in a minute. But the bottom line is we need to never stop learning, and I think that's kind of the purpose of this show. Is it's so cool that we get to review some of the best books, some of the most motivational sales books and life balance books on the planet. And I 99% of the time here I'm talking to myself. You know what I mean? Like, Chuck, never stop learning. You know what I mean? Like, 99% of this is to make sure that we continue to get better. But
see, but you enjoy learning.
You don't?
That sounded so bad. Maybe
Well, I mean.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm so embarrassed.
Why?
But you do. You enjoy.
The first step is admitting you have a problem, Jake.
Wow.
So I think I need to change my mindset. That to broaden my mind is fine. Ooh.
Well, here's the thing too. Maybe you truly don't enjoy Eat That Frog.
This stuff I dig.
Maybe if it was a different topic though, you might feel differently.
So no, when you started saying, okay, listen to a podcast and listen to this about, because that takes away from my music time, actually. So I need to. Can they sing a little jig in between while they're teaching?
Well, but this stuff is us learning.
This is true.
We're just learning in a different way. Maybe you don't like audiobooks. Maybe you don't like, maybe that's another thing is finding your way of what things you enjoy. I mean, right now we have, I don't know, 90, probably, 80, 90 people on, and then who knows, what. So, but like maybe this is the way they learn in certain ways, you know what I mean? Or everybody's different. What do you like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, have you ever watched the TED Talks?
No.
Oh shit, Jenny.
Only like one or two.
All right, we're gonna move on. So never stop learning, the rest of you.
Yeah, I bet I'm gonna do better.
All right, personal and professional development. All right, so but you do watch videos on this challenge that you took and all that sort of stuff. You did engage in something.
100%. I do a lot of learning on other things.
Your 90-day challenge, that's important to you.
Yeah, so I need to. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and here's another thing. So, but this is interesting too. So, the better you are, the more energy and enthusiasm you have. So, for example, and you're kind of an expert in your craft. So, when you know you can do a job well, you find it easy to overcome procrastination and get the job done better and faster. I see you getting up every day to go have an interview with somebody. And just so you know, you don't just walk out of the office, you strut out of the office.
I believe it.
Okay, and the reason that you're strutting is because you're good at what you do. You know how to do an interview. You know what you offer. You know what services we have. You know all those sorts of things. So because you like it and you're good at it and you've got it down to a T, your procrastination is not even an issue for you.
Right, and also I have to say this, you do teach me almost daily how to do this.
Well,
how to recruit, how to do things. So it's not that I'm just being a a sloth and not learning.
No, I'm paying you a compliment. And,
No, I know,
And this
but-
goes for everybody out there too, though. Like whatever they're good at, like if they're going at a home inspection, they're not worried.
Right.
Because it's easy to go to a home inspection.
Yeah.
If they're going to show property, they're not concerned because they know how to build those conversations and build those rapport, So it's just, but the problem is, are you dialing in and learning on the skill set that's going to give you the most success and help you get to that long-term goal?
Yeah, I love that.
And how can we engage that, And so for me right now, I'm working on a book, so I love reading what other people are talking about. So I'm chewing these up. You know what I mean? I've never read like I'm reading right now. Either that or I'm getting old. I don't know, one of the two.
He's almost 50.
No, well, whoa.
It's 3 years.
All right,
whatever.
All right. So when you know a job well, you can do it easier and overcome that procrastination. That's the bottom line with it. And continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field.
Okay.
But now let me ask you this. If Coldwell Banker was putting on a seminar in Chicago on recruiting for 2 days, and it was going to be a big blowout and the bars are going to be open and all that sort of stuff, would you want to go?
With the Green River, yeah, I'm there.
Okay, that's you. Okay, so we need to attach a party to your learning skills, right?
Yes.
And then if we do that, then you'll go. So,
Yeah.
but
Margaret's like, oh, Jenny. Oh,
no, we're not
Jenny."
going to do that. We're going to be in the thing the whole time, Margaret, like studying and watching and focusing. But it is funny because Bill Gates puts out every single week what books he's reading, and he's
Really?
reading like 2 to 3 books a week. Warren Buffett reads a minimum of 1 to 2 books a week. The billionaire guy that I told you about, but remember that was on the Fired Up Friday, he reads a book to 2 a week. Like, they are constantly learning more about their crafts because, and this is people like Gates, who's the richest man in the world. Why is he still doing that? Because he's still trying to get better and still having a new view of the world, and
they're
all
not
those types of
novels,
things.
huh?
I think somebody just said, Tara just said she has the same learning method as Jenny. It requires
Right?
booze and parties. So, I don't know what to think
That's
of that.
my girl. I think most of us are like that.
Oh boy. So, so learners are earners, like I said, and the proof is in the pudding with the people that doing, everything is learnable too. And that's something I was going to tell you about. So like and this is just me and everybody's got their own way of doing it. But so when we first started these Monday Motivations, it was really hard for me because I would have the book here and then I would be typing in the notes. And I don't know if you remember, I used to have a piece of paper and I'd be typing in the notes and I'd be looking at the book and I'd be writing it and going back and forth, and it would just take me, the entire 5 hours to get ready for today. And then I was down in Mexico about, a couple months ago, and I saw this guy sitting down. He had a book in his hand, he had a highlighter, and he had an iPad. And I said, what book are you reading? And I just started and he was showing me his book. He's an author, right? And he was a preacher that owns a huge church. I think it's called The Grill in Miami Beach.
Okay.
And he had written multiple books and all that sort of stuff. And I said, so what are you doing? I said, you got your highlighter. I said, I kind of do that too, to highlight the important parts of the book so I can go back later and say, oh yeah, this. And he said, no. He said, I highlight to go back if I want to check it later. He said, but I put my audio. He said, I read the important parts into my iPad. And then that way I have a note sheet and I don't need my book anymore. And I said, and he goes, well, why are you asking? And I said, well, we have a Monday Motivation show and stuff. And he goes, what you should do is just open your iPad, dictate, directly read in there, have PowerPoint slides, directly read into the PowerPoint, which is what you see here behind you, exactly what things you want. He says, you'll go probably 20 times faster than writing it all out. He said, you're saying it, so it's kind of like going into your head, and your life will get easier. And ever since then, my preparation time is this big. And it's just because I ran into this guy and that's what he does. And he travels around and speaks, and he was a professor at Yale and, all this different stuff. So he kind of had it dialed in. But that's another way of learning, is just coming into contact with people that are doing it already.
And you walked up to him. That's what's impressive. And the universe put you there, of course. But that was really cool that you had it to walk up to him.
Oh yeah,
and not be all.
Well, I was curious because he was jamming. He was like 80 years old, and he was just jamming, going back and forth and doing. And I'm like, I got to talk to this guy, And
so cool.
He's an expert in relationships between Gen Xers and Boomers, and how to communicate with that. And that's what all his books are on. He wanted to come on the show, which is really fun.
That's fun. We should have him.
I know, right?
Because we're all over the place.
I know.
Our age group, and I love it. And I think we all relate to each other.
I know. So he showed me the power of dictation and a few other things. So learning is just learning, right? I mean, and I do like what you just said. The universe puts people in front of you for a reason. And that's exactly what he did. And it goes same with my book too, which is something we could talk about. But it is so easy this second time around to write a book because I learned all of those things the first time. Because it took me, and you can ask Sonia. Sonia helped me with the book. Tom Wysocki helped me with the book. My buddies flew down from up north. My attorney came down to help me. I had so many people help me with this book because it was so hard. And now I'm working on my second one, and because you've been through that once, it's easier. I'm moving like 10 times faster than I was before, which is really fun. But again, it's because I learned the process.
Yeah.
And then it gets easier and easier. Like I look at Mark Kohler, the accountant who we have on all the time, and he's writing his like 10th or 11th book. And I'm like, how in the hell do you have time if it took me 3 years to do it? But now he can fire them out because he's learned his trade. He's learned his trade. So I just thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought this was interesting too. We can learn any skills that we want.
That's crazy.
The things that are out there, like I just put an exercise bike together, and all I did is I YouTubed the 9-minute video of how I took the instructions, I threw them right out the window, and I YouTubed some really weird dude in Illinois that put his bike together, and he's like, now do this, pause, now do this, pause. So there's nothing that we can't learn anymore. And what I mean is, from these books to audio books to YouTube to Google, you can learn anything. Whether if you wanted to be a great typer, you could take a typing class or take something online. Do you agree?
Yes.
If you wanted to be, Jenny, even you, if you wanted to be a mechanic and learn about engines, you could do it.
I could.
And you could be a great mechanic.
I could, because it's very methodical.
Right.
Like they give you step by step what to do.
Yeah, and everything out there, there's just so many things. Elizabeth just said, I learned everything about rehabbing houses on the internet.
Very cool.
I mean, it's excellent. So, and it's the same with negotiation. There's so many things on the art of negotiation. Writing. Something that I've always wanted to do, which I don't think I want to do anymore, but speed reading. Like you could become an amazing speed reader. You're like, Chuck, I don't want to sit down and read this book for 10 hours. But what if you could just go boom, boom, boom? You know what I mean? So the bottom line is, out there in the world, somebody has done what you want to do before. And somebody can help walk you through it and then move up to the next level, the next. So it's just nice to know that we can have whatever skills we want and be anyone that we want to be still. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we can be whatever we want to be.
That's right. On a personal level too, not just business.
Absolutely.
You could be. You said you're a jazzercise instructor, right? And how did you learn how to do that?
Video, and instruction. Someone telling you.
So you do learn.
I do learn. I have to like it.
Well, you have to like it.
Which is awful.
Why?
Because I should not just only care about things that I care about.
I think that might be the meaning of life. I think that might be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're allowed to be on that path. But yeah, so you do study. You do.
I do. You're right. I do learn. I do. For the first time ever, I'm like watching like cooking things.
Fun, huh?
Because always before it wasn't healthy stuff. It was like I would never cook that for my family.
How to make a greasy pasta.
Yeah, easy peasy. Anything can taste good if you had enough fat to it. So I guess I am learning, guys.
You're learning about the things you want to learn about. It's when I said
this season.
It's when I said, do you want to learn more about recruiting and interviews that you folded.
I'm so sorry. That's horrible. Well, it's because of what you said in the beginning. Right now, I'm that big long word. I'm focusing on this right now. Yes, I promise I will continue to work on our goal. But right now, I'm super hyper focused on this one baby thing.
Right. Well, we used to give Adam crap too, back in the day, to make sure that Adam is continually learning video skills. You remember that? Yeah. And continually getting better with lighting and audio and all those sorts of things, and hopefully everybody has a hobby out there that they're getting better and better at. You know what I mean? When people watch the Golf Channel, they're trying to get better. Even though it's boring as hell for you if you walk in and Jeremy's watching the Golf Channel.
Oh my God. My grandpa used to watch the Golf Channel it wasn't the Golf Channel. It'd be golf.
That's his life.
It was his life.
Yeah, and he wanted to be better.
Yeah.
Now, you get it?
That's so funny.
That's all he really wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so here is Brian Tracy's 3 steps to mastery in anything.
Okay,
Ready?
3 steps. Uno, dos, tres.
Here we go. Number 1, read in your field 1 hour every day. You don't have to. Okay, I know you're not going to. It's okay.
Well, no, I was thinking prospecting. That excites me.
Yeah, so
I want to know more about Coldwell Banker, like our new systems that we have coming up.
But this is reading. So read in your field 1 hour every day. Number 2, and I like this one, and I believe in this, and this is my recommendation to everybody out there. And I feel bad for some of you newer people, and even like Brian Keene and stuff like that. Like some of you guys, you have not been able to attend the big 3-4 day Tom Ferry events, the Mike Ferry events, the Brian Buffini events. Like those will change your life. Those will change your business. So number 2 is take every course and seminar available that can improve you in your craft. And a lot of people go, well, I don't want to go to Vegas for 4 days. This is a waste of time. I need to stay here and I need to sell. But the things that you get out of those events are going to make you better. And that's why I still go. I go to everything I can, and I go to bring it back because there's a lot of people that are never going to go.
Well, and they don't have time, like you said, also. And that is one of the things I always tell people. You take the time to go learn and bring it back to us. Because a lot of our agents, either they have kids, they have grandkids, they have spouses. They can't just leave, or grandparents are taken care of. So you go and you learn and you bring it back to us. And now with Motivational Monday, you're going to be able to bring it back so much even easier.
Well, and that's the kicker, like we would do like, the Coldwell Banker Generation Blue. And we would end up having like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 people go. But I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It will change your game. So I think number 2 is really important, taking every course and seminar available.
Okay.
You have to stay at the top game. And if you're not a reader, I don't think you're going to do all 3 of these mastery steps I'm doing. Do the ones that are the best for you.
Yeah.
So number 1 is read in your field an hour every day. And I think most people on this call don't want to read because everyone on this call is an extrovert. Extroverts don't like to read. You know what I mean? They don't. Yeah, Sean, that's right. Brian Buffini, dude. So number 2, take every course available. Number 3, and I like this one, and this is what my son's really good at, and I'm not. Listen to audio in your car. When you're zipping from here to here to here to here, why not make that productive? And I know it interrupts your music. All right, you said it interrupts your music time.
Of course, I only drive 3 minutes, so.
But if you were listening to, who's the dude that you say is hot that rides the Peloton bike, and you and Jen are always ranting and raving about whoever that is?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, well, whatever. It's just constantly Jen's talking about some hot fitness instructor or whatever. If he was talking for 30 minutes, I get the feeling you guys would listen.
Probably.
On fitness, all right? So,
yeah.
But then you can't listen in your car.
You can't see him.
Yeah, because you can't see him.
All right, so.
I like it, though.
So those are the 3 things. It's like read 30 minutes, go to every course and seminar available, and listen to audio in your car.
I know Jennifer Murphy, this is one thing, because her and I used to commute together. I'm a music person. She was a talk show person. Needless to say, look how well she's doing. Sorry if I laughed.
And you're stuck here with me.
And I'm stuck here with you.
That is really funny.
But it's true. Take the time, find that podcast about what is relevant to you and what you care about.
You know what? Hey, I want to open this up for a minute to everybody. And you know what? Brian and even Brett and a bunch of different people on this call, Tom, Sarah, what Jenny and I want to do, okay, we have this whole studio now. So we've got interview areas, we've got amazing places to train, we've got, all the technology you need to make sure that it's going to be an enjoyable experience. And we want to know what things you would like to see. And what I mean, Sarah, is, and Tom, what things will make you better? That's what I want to know. Is it interviews with top producers? Would you like to see, people that are making $1 million a year? Would you like us to be interviewing people that are doing 60 to 100 units? Would you like to see, actual more training, my style of training, which is not in detail, big picture training where it's like, this is Moxie, this is what it does. Would you like us to add in Michael doing a step-by-step? We want to give you the tools to make sure that you can, live your best life financially in business. So we're not going to change this. I mean, Monday Motivation is going to continue to be that. But are there things out there, guys, that can help you? Like, I'm thinking about Sarah, and every time we talk to Sarah, I'm like, hey, what do you think, Sarah? And she's like, well, I think. And then you hear a kid screaming, and she's like, I gotta go. Right? So it's really tough for some of us to, kind of engage. But like, what sorts of things can we bring you? Julie just said whatever it is, step by step. So that's kind of more the Michael training stuff. Brian, is there some things that like shows that you've watched, training you've attended? Are there things that you would like to see, man, that can help your business? And what sorts of things would you like us to bring to the table? Because right now, Jenny and I and Adam and Michael and everything, we're laying out what we want the system to look like. Tara just said one access area where all videos are searchable. I like that one.
YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, but we need to make sure that it's visible and out there. Brett, you've been around a while, man. Is there some forms of training that you would like to see? I mean, do you want us to try to bring in more guests? Do you like this sort of material? I mean, what would you like? Love access to motivational people, and those are our Fridays. So it sounds like, I mean, I would love to have Brian Tracy on. But that's kind of the Fired Up Fridays. So I also don't want to step on that. But And let me ask you this, Brian, and I'll just, if we added a second day, and if we did like a Wednesday morning at 8:30 and it was just, or 9 o'clock, whatever, and we had powerhouse agents on, every agent in the company, this was my thought, that makes over $100,000 a year, giving their best tips, would that be something that you guys would watch? That's really what I want to know, because we have 52 people that make over 100 grand a year, and maybe we could add that Wednesday show or something like that. Jenny, would you be down for that?
I would be down for that.
All right. Brian says for sure. I see a lot of people nodding. Catherine obviously is probably saying the same thing.
And John Hill said prospecting scripts. And what's so funny is he probably already has a script. He just doesn't realize it's a script, But absolutely, we need more ideas to pull from so we can put our personality on it.
Yeah. And again, and when I talk to Brian and I ask him, he'll call me, or we'll be talking, and he says, I really like the Monday Motivations. He said, because I like to hear what the agents that are dealing with the same stuff I have going on are dealing with, and how they're dealing with it and stuff like that. So I think that's what we'll do, guys. On Wednesdays, I like the video library too, Brett. And I want to come up with a way to make it easily accessible. Adam, even if it pops up during the screen, drop it into Buzz or something. Let's figure out a way to make sure that all of these things are named properly, findable, and available to everyone. I think that would be super cool. Sound good? Wednesday?
Hey,
Yes. Yes, Tom.
Hey, that's the number one thing I get requests for, is where can we find the videos? I probably get 3 or 4 a day wanting to know where the last video you guys did. We just can't find them.
All right. So Michael, maybe that's something that we could work with you on, and let's just make it as easy as possible. And I know you say YouTube, but let's put it that's not the answer, Adam.
No, the answer is in our video.
Turn off his mic, Michael. He just second cup of coffee's going right. All right. So anyways, all right. So back to where we're at. Thank you, guys. We're going to start baby steps.
Yep, baby steps.
We'll do Wednesdays. You have to be, we'll bring on somebody that makes at least 100 grand, and I want you guys to know it's not just going to be our people.
Yeah.
I want to bring in top producers from all of the people here around Southern California. I don't even care what company they're at.
Right, I agree.
If they can bring you help and tools, and and I don't even think they necessarily. One of the most powerful interviews I was ever a part of was Kathy Lansford from Old Republic, and the way she does her business. There's a reason that she's 60 years old and owns 52 rentals and started with nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be in real estate, but it's still prospecting and sales. So let's do that.
I love it.
All right, cool. All right, so back to where we were talking about. We were talking about 30 minutes a day, going to events and seminars and podcasts. I have a question for you.
Okay.
It's an important one. Okay. Is there any doubt that you could become one of the most capable and highest paid people in your field by simply doing those 3 things? Reading every day, podcasts and audio, and going to events. Do you think that you could become the most capable and one of the highest paid people literally anywhere?
Can I?
I don't know. Let's set some goals. Elise is saying 100%.
Yeah.
We're all capable of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But you do have to have a passion, And
you do.
And I think there is a difference between liking going to work and it's a job. And I think the people that look at it as a job are not going to be as passionate as somebody who really has the vibe of feeling and loving what they do. So if you're feeling and loving what you're doing and continuing to try to get better,
It's true.
You could be the best.
Yeah.
You could be the best. You know what I mean?
Right.
And here's an example. So, again, the Zings made $1 million a year.
Doug?
Yes, please.
That actually goes exactly to my question. I get asked all the time about what do I do to get into real estate, to become a real estate agent, to do what we do. And I try and, guide them along the lines and, try and recruit them to our office, of course. But so what's the better way to do it?
No, what you did was perfect. What happened was COVID, because we were having people come in so they could be connected with us and talking with us and being in here with us. And it was, but invite them onto these things so they can see and bust it through. It's just, I think as we fall out of this past year, what you did was perfect.
Yep, for sure. And you know what, again, and things like this, like what we're doing here, this is a new culture.
Yeah.
Now that you can't bring people in, this is going to be a new way of life that's going to stick.
Oh, you're right.
I had another interesting conversation. Carrie Medley called me, who lives in San Diego,
Yeah.
and I don't know, we had
She's one of our agents, if you guys don't know.
We had 150, 160 people on our sales meeting on Thursday, and she called me and she said, "Hey Chuck, could you never stop doing these calls virtually?" And I swear, she said, "I have not missed one." She hasn't missed one. Even though she lives far from here now, she has not missed one
really
meeting.
cool.
So she's tied in, and she goes, "I love the sales meetings." Yes.
Chuck, I do have to interrupt you. Please don't stop doing these.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing them, but we have to figure out a way, and that's part of the studio where we can do part of it live and also make sure that we continue to stream, because this is a new world.
Yeah, you're right.
And a lot of your clients out there, guys, a lot of your buyers and your sellers and stuff are going to want to FaceTime and talk like this well into the future.
Yeah.
So many times we're not going to need to get together anymore because we're going to be able to do it this way.
Wow.
And we're going to be so much more efficient. I think about all these people that are flying to New York all the time for these sales meetings. Now they're doing it on Zoom and probably having the same results.
Yeah, and saving
it's a new world.
thousands and thousands of dollars.
And thousands and thousands of hours, So anyways, okay, back to where we're at though. So, and I'm going to keep moving on with this learning portion. The more you learn and know, the more confident and motivated you feel. Right? So it's easy for you now to go on an interview. For for Brian, for Lori Robinson, for Christine, Gonzalez, it's very easy to go on a listing appointment.
Right.
They just got it dialed in.
Right.
Because they are so confident and they've got their tools lined up. I like to say they've got their trunk done where everything is dialed in and they know exactly what they're going to do. And the more you know and can talk on a subject, what's really cool is like when these new people go in on a listing appointment, it's a little bit difficult, like especially if they don't have Moxie or something like that, because they have to bullshit their way through it and use their people skills. Whereas somebody that has the knowledge and skills, they're going in knowing, I've done 10 deals in the last year. There's very few questions you can ask me that I can't answer. And that's the same with public speaking, by the way.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way back to the kid that is really scared and ready to pee their pants going up, in fifth grade to talk about, a cell. In biology class, they have to present and they're freaking out because the reason they're freaking out is because they're not extremely knowledgeable in that topic. But if I am, a trombone player and I play in the college band and somebody wants to interview me on it, it's going to be very easy. But if somebody's going to ask me on something else, then my confidence and my motivation are going to be much less. If somebody wanted me to come talk about nursing, I'm in big trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that is... and that's why it's important for us to be, tied in our skills, and for all the new people to be going to the training classes and, leaning on their mentor and listening to what the top producers are doing and all that sort of stuff. So, anyways, all right, number 12, chapter 12, identify your key constraints.
What does that mean?
Right, that's what I thought. And the quote was from Alexander Graham Bell at the chapter, and it basically said, concentrate all of your thoughts on the task at hand. And the sun's rays don't burn you until it has time to focus on you. So it's really about your focus. So between where you are now, and we'll use fitness for example, where you are now and where you want to go, okay, there are things that are blocking you all along the way. You're here, you want to be here. So the question is, what are those, and that's constraints. So I'm just trying to give you an example. So what are those things from blocking you from hitting your goal?
Gotcha.
And so my question would be, you want to play the game?
Okay.
We'll use the fitness one.
Oh.
Number one.
Okay.
And I know some of it's personal and you don't like to share everything, but what is holding you back? So you guys out there that are trying to make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $500,000 a year, same with you with fitness stuff.
Right.
What is holding you back?
And if you get down to the nitty gritty, one, it's I think the biggest thing is fear of succeeding. It is
Really?
what if I do all these things and then I'm still searching and still trying to do better. But so you have to retrain your brain that it's okay. It's okay to want to keep learning. This is deep today. But about, it's okay to not want to, or to achieve and to keep achieving. It's not greed. It's not superficial. It's not, because I get like that. I'm like, we have so much. Type of thing. But it's okay. You can keep making money. It's okay.
What an interesting psychology you have.
I'm really jacked up.
You think so too, Adam? Well, so I used to, and I kind of get that. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just
Okay.
going to leave it at that. So, but that's an example. The next questions would be something like, what sets the speed at which you achieve the goals? So,
Right.
for example, you just said I did the 90-day plan. Could you have done that in 60?
No.
Okay. Fine. But for some people, maybe they could.
Oh, because it was a certain program.
Right.
That's why. Yes. Could you do it?
No, you're 9 inches, for example.
Oh.
Could you have done the 9 inches in 60 days?
Heck yeah. I could have done it a lot quicker.
So why did we decide, because you're following the 90-day, but I'm just giving you examples of what the book says.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not trying to pick on you.
No,
Okay.
no.
Number 3, what determines how fast you will move from where you are to where you want to go?
Totally.
What's determining that? The next one is, what holds you back from eating the frogs that make the difference?
Exactly, because I'm eating everything else besides the frogs.
Oh, stop it.
I speak my truth all the time.
I remember we had a conversation about, and you got all emotional on me and told me not to bring it up on camera.
Oh, God.
I know, so I'm not going to. But, you were saying things like support systems and different things that you need in place, or self-sabotage.
Well, whatever, you got to do your work.
That's right.
Thanks, Sarah.
Look at somebody being positive. I love it. But so what are those little things? And I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying this is what the book is saying.
And this is Motivational Monday.
Yeah. So what holds us back from eating those frogs? And sometimes, you kind of said this, fear of success.
Yeah.
Self-sabotage. It could easily be a significant other, parents, kids, things that kind of rack your confidence.
Hammer was howling, listening to you at that.
Oh, that's funny. And then, why aren't we at our goals already? So, and this is where it got into this, and this is something that I've never really talked about, but I think people find it, I found it fascinating because some of the other shows that I've watched before, limiting factors. And that's what we mean by constraints. So your job in your business, in your life, in your family, in your fitness, in your spiritual life, is we have to identify the limiting factors or constraints within it that focus all of our energy on alleviating that single choke point. What are those limiting factors that are stopping us from getting there? And it's usually very few things that are stopping us. It could be self-sabotage. It could be a significant other. It could be anything that is stopping us from doing that. So limiting factors are, if I was to sit here and say, I can't lose that weight in this amount of time, or I can't spend an hour prospecting every day because, we have to identify why. What is that thing that's stopping us? My schedule?
Yeah.
I got a call, got to go. I can't do my prospecting. My mom's got to talk to me.
I'm the queen of that. For sure.
Because something always affects the speed, And like I said, it could be a decision. It could be a purpose. It could be a resource, that is that we require, some form of weakness in us, learning to prospect or all that stuff. And generally, we like to blame the company.
Oh, for sure.
The environment. The this, the that, but that's not always it,
it's almost always within, but yeah, it's baby steps. I go back to step 1, what you were talking about in doing this. Yeah, okay, mom may call, which we all have to take our mom's call. If we're fortunate enough to still have them with us, but we have to say, okay, take that call, then immediately go back to that prospecting or go back to that podcast.
Right. Right. So for our businesses, but there are, obviously, we still have to acknowledge some outside factors, right? So it may be our poor. Yes.
Can I blame myself on one?
Go for it.
Be a perfect example of what you're talking about. I will blame myself that I asked, to get the prospecting. I forget exactly what it's called, but basically the farming tool.
Yeah, Prospect Square, right?
For everyone who has a VA loan.
Oh.
Okay.
In the area.
Right.
Because my concentration is VA loans.
Right.
So, VA loans, veterans, first responders, that kind of thing. And I fell off on that. I concentrated on it for a while.
Right.
But then I fell off on it.
Right.
And I screwed myself on that.
Right. So you just got to figure out a way to keep it in front of you, right?
Yeah. Get back up on it, Sean. Exactly. You got this.
Exactly.
Right on.
Exactly. I should have kept it in front of me because I would have had 30, 40 different deals because I know for a fact that those closed in the last year.
So that means that you have a limiting factor, Sean.
Yeah.
You have a limiting factor. So anyways, back to where we were. So it could be so outside factors, Jenny. It could be marketing, our selling skills, lack of a budget. You know, some people are going to struggle because they don't have a budget, even though in this business you can do this for free and succeed other than board dues and E&O and stuff. But
for sure.
That being the case, you know, we just have to figure out, and here would be my question and Sean just identified one, but what is one thing that is limiting your real estate growth and profitability? And I always believe it's prospecting. You know, I mean, if everybody made 10 texts and 10 calls every single day, they're going to kill.
Especially now, we are opening up, but before we would see all of our people at the soccer game, or we'd see them at drop off for school. So those phone calls and texts are so important now, you know, to stay in contact with everyone.
Right.
Especially now, things are changing and it's super fun. So you can talk to them about that.
Right.
It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
It's true.
You know, things are changing. Did you all see movie theaters this week? Heck.
I know, right?
Maybe we should give out a movie theater thing. If I was a realtor right now, that's what I would do. I would
run a
go
movie
on.
theater?
Well, I'm talking cheaper. I would give away movie tickets. Like if they came on or
Nice.
shared my post or something.
Nice.
There you go. Free marketing.
I love that.
Right here.
I love that. Okay, so back to what we're saying.
Yeah.
So if we identify the one thing that is holding us back,
Okay.
for example, what is it? Remember the 80-20 rule when we talked about that?
Tell me again.
The 80-20 rule is where, you know, 80% of 20%
yeah.
of the people make 80% of the money, you know,
Yeah.
all those sorts
Yeah.
of things. And 20% of our tasks make us 80% of our money. You know, but yet we still focus on the other ones. So using the 80% issue, it says that 80% of our holdback from getting from A to D or from A to Z is us. We are, you know, it's internal. It's not external. And like I said, we like to blame things like, you know, the company, competition, the market, you know, and there are 20% of limiting factors that are those things.
Sure.
But generally it's within ourselves. And
Amen.
so we have to look in and say kind of what things are holding me back, you know, and how can we motivate ourselves to get those results. And our job is now to start off your day finding those limiting factors and overcoming them. You know, it's removal of the bottlenecks, and we all have them. You know, and I think that's the big one. So it's just trying to figure those out. I mean, even writing this book and stuff, which I'm trying to do, like it's hard to not want to just leave.
Oh, I can't even
and go
fathom.
do this or go do that. So you have to
Dude.
force yourself to realize what's stopping me from doing it. Nothing. Get your ass out there and do it. You know,
Yeah.
what's stopping all of you guys from prospecting and sending those 10 texts today or those 10 calls? I sure would love to hear everybody send out 10 calls or make 10 calls and send 10 texts today. I mean, guys, I guarantee you're going to get business if you send 10 texts and make 10 calls.
Yeah.
Right, Jenny?
Yes, and if it scares you to think of it as like that you're prospecting that makes you feel dirty, think of it as you're just reaching out to your friends. You're just reaching out to people, you know?
For sure.
You know, if you need to put that flip on it to make it feel like you're not, but it's okay. It's
know.
okay to ask for business.
I know. It's
okay.
Well, and if you ask, I'd say in any of the interviews that we do with the people that are making, you know, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year, or that are going from being a $50,000 agent to a $150,000 agent, almost every single time when I ask them, what's the number one thing that's making this happen for you? It's, I'm not afraid anymore to ask for business.
Yeah.
And when they do ask for business, and that's exactly what the billionaire said.
Yeah.
The billionaire said, have a pleasing personality and ask for business.
There you go.
Those two things, you know what I mean? And of course, you know, a lot of you guys right now, it sounds like we're like, you don't have to call about business, but if they do ask, you know, hey, you know, how are you? Just checking in, blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, how's the real estate market? It's pretty good. Hey, and by the way, do you happen to know anybody that might be looking to buy or sell? That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Anybody at all.
Yeah.
You know? So the next piece I think is important, and you know, we only got a few minutes left.
We have our
Ooh.
giveaway.
We have our giveaway? All right, cool. So let's make sure, hey, Michael, when there's like 3 minutes to go, can we grab that bag? Because I think we got like 6 minutes. But you know, and I almost want to hold this section off for next time.
Hold it.
Well, but it's so good.
Give us a little tidbit.
All right. So the next thing is number 13 is putting pressure on yourself. And I hope people are still here and really pay attention to this section, guys, because
pay attention.
the first requisite for success is the ability to apply your physical and mental energies to one thing. But what I'm saying is most people, and this is the world, and don't be this person, and it's okay if it is, but most people are waiting for someone to come along in their life and motivate them. Okay, everyone is waiting that, you know, that someone is going to come in and someone's going to motivate me and someone's going to get me going and someone's going to do this. But the bottom line is that the problem is No one is coming in on the white horse like Shrek, saying, I need a hero.
Yeah.
It's all you.
It's all
right?
you,
So
and you are enough.
no one is coming to the rescue.
Yeah.
All right. And there's more to this. And this is why I really like this. So some people never take charge of their lives. And they never put the pressure on themselves that they need to do to be successful. Most people need a boss.
Yeah.
And the reason that they need a boss is because they're very talented and they're very smart and they're very accomplished and can do great things, but they need somebody in their ear telling them, go make those 10 calls or you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Go make those 10 texts or you're going to get fired. And things like that motivate you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So understanding that some people never take charge of their own lives and put that pressure on themselves, it's a problem. Now, here's the statistics.
Okay.
Only 2% of people on the planet can work without supervision. 2% of people on the planet can work without. And you know what those 2% are called?
Adam?
Leaders.
Oh.
Adam.
Oh, I meant the other way.
Oh,
but you're welcome.
Oh, no, the 98%?
Yeah.
But only,
Mean.
but they mean. Jeez, Jenny. So those 2% are called leaders.
Okay.
And, that's the kind of person that you guys out there as independent contractors need to be.
Yeah.
And Brett just said, many of us have trouble giving a consistent 8-hour effort, because it comes in spurts. And that's part of being an independent contractor, whereas if you have to go to work, like he was just saying, at In-N-Out or whatever, it's sustained and you cannot, but this is the reason that we're all here in sales and real estate is because of this ceiling. There is no glass ceiling.
Yeah.
And so understanding this, the kind of person that you have to be as an independent contractor is that 2%er.
That's so true.
And I feel like sometimes when people jump companies or when they jump moves, it's because they're hoping that where they go is going to force them to be better. Whereas really it's here. You know what I mean?
Or if you didn't have a connection, sometimes you don't have a connection there, and you could find that here.
It's true.
But you're right. We all have it within ourselves.
Yeah.
And I love that 2%. Let's be the 2%.
We have to be the 2%ers.
It's not bad.
No, it's not. No, and
it's a good thing
to
be a leader.
The 98%, is some people just like to be part of a team. You know what I mean? They like to be part of a team, and I love that. I like to be part of a team.
Me too.
I wouldn't want to own this company without Margaret.
Oh gosh.
Because we hold each other accountable. We make sure that we're better, and then she calls me, 10 times a day. Did you make that call? Did you do this? You do that? So I guess technically I'm a 98%er and she's a 2%. You know what I mean? As independent contractors, we're all leaders in our own business.
Just take the whole thing.
So we have to form those habits, Jenny, of putting that pressure on ourselves and not waiting for someone else to come along and do that.
Yeah, I love it.
We have to see ourselves as a role model, and we have to raise the bar for ourselves and our own work to a level that should be higher than anyone could set for us.
I love it.
You know what I mean? And that's called being an entrepreneur and being a leader. You know what I mean? Are we good?
Yep.
All right.
Fine.
Michael, thank you, dude. All right, so these are all the people that shared the posts, right?
Yes.
And are these 25s and 50s, right?
I can't remember.
All right,
all
so
I got them. I think they're 25s.
All right, so these are the people we're gonna pick some randoms that shared the show.
Shared the show,
Right.
Or made a comment, or tagged us.
That's right. The first one is Gabby Tapote, and I don't know if Gabby's on, so Gabby gets one of these Amazons. How exciting! Thank you for sharing the show. Next up, we have Zachary Pitts from A Better Home Inspection.
Yeah.
We have people from Better Home Inspection on here?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Next up, we have Kim Graham. Way to go,
Yes.
Kim Graham. I don't know, is Kim on? That's right, you did win, Gabby. Next up, we have Brenda Stewart.
Yeah.
Good job, Brenda.
Lou.
Brenda Lou. So she's getting $50 at Amazon.
They could be 25.
Oh, it could be 25 too?
Yeah,
Next one is Nancy Diaz.
Yeah, thanks,
so
Nancy.
Congratulations, Nancy.
She did it twice.
She did it twice? Smart.
Because we did 2
and
things.
I think that was all 5 of
And
them.
everyone, make sure your settings are on public and not private. Because sometimes when we go back in as Coldwell Banker Associated Brokers, we can't go in and talk to you or anything because you are set as private.
And again, I know we just handed out cards for sharing the post, but again, if you are enjoying this content, please continue to share this to your timeline, because it not only helps us, it helps people in the world get this wonderful information.
Yes. And we appreciate you guys, and I know that we're almost there, but I just want to end with a couple more things, Jenny.
Oh, yeah, we have one more minute. You're fine.
Before we go. So we talked about independent.
Hey, Chuck.
I got 1 minute, Sean, but what you got?
Are
man?
you actually sending it out to the world or just to us?
Oh no, anybody that it can help. You know, and like most of the people on here are all real estate related. Like we have our friends in Coastal Alliance and West, all over, all the Coldwell Bankers. But yeah, sorry, I got 1 minute, Sean. I got to keep charging here. So you have to put that habit of pressure on yourself again, and not wait for other people. And I mentioned raise that bar for what you expect, but always look for ways to go that extra mile with your clients and differentiate yourself as being a better agent. And as you learn to do that, our self-esteem increases. And you know, where the average person would normally quit, because we have continued to go that extra mile and put in that extra work and put that pressure on ourselves, we're not going to quit because we've trained our brain to put that on us. Another thing it said is creating imaginary deadlines.
Oh.
So you have 1 day to make those 10 calls and to send out those 10 texts. You have to assume, and he talked about tricking your mind. So tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., I'm leaving for Hawaii for a week. For a month. So what prospecting things do I need to do by tomorrow before I leave to make sure that I'm good for that month? And you know when people always get really busy before they leave on vacation? It's because of all the work they're putting in right at the end, because they know they're going to be gone. It's not just some imaginary thing where I'm leaving, so I get busy. Isn't that funny the way that works? No, it's because the prep work that you're doing, the seeds that you're planting during those few days before you leave, expands your business. So it's just prepping. So trick your mind to do that same sort of thing. You know what I mean? The bottom line is just figure it out, you know, and figure out what you need to do to create those imaginary guidelines. And that will help. And then it just becomes a habit.
And reach out to us if you need more baby steps, because I think a lot of people want steps. For sure. So I think we can really help them with that too. Don't be afraid to reach out to your mentors, to us, and because it is baby steps. Let's just keep, like Ryan said, just one step at a time.
Inch by inch, look down and move forward.
We'll get that yard, and then we'll get the 5 kilometers out.
But if you're not prospecting, you're in big trouble.
Big trouble.
10 texts, 10 calls, guys. That's it. Or 10 DMs. It's really easy.
Yeah, do it.
You know. So, anyways, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Love the new studio.
Thank
hey, anybody that wants to come in and see the studio, anybody that wants to use it, anybody that wants to shoot anything in here, we're ready to roll.
Yeah.
All right.
Come check it out, y'all.
So, thank you, guys. Go out there. Have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to be working on bringing in some powerhouse guests in the next week. You're welcome, Katie.
Yeah, be ready. It could be you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.